Thanks Team Vedant to organize the conference on Viksit Bharat at 2047. I, Dr. Sunil Kumar, session chair for this session. I have reviewed the paper title Implementations of Indic Priorities to Reverse Brain Drain, presented by Khuteja Firdous. The paper aligned closely with the National Education Policy 2020 and the vision of Viksit Bharat at 2047. The study discusses how restructuring higher education around Indic priorities including Indian knowledge system, Indian language, curriculum reform and regulatory restructuring can help retain talent and reduce brain drain. It highlights the key challenge faced by higher education institutions during NEP 2020 implementations. A major strength of the paper is its strong policy relevance and alignment with ongoing reform. The emphasis is on holistic educations and culturally grounded development is timely and important. The paper can be strengthened by offering a clear conceptual definitions of brain drain, including institutional example and clarifying whether the study is conceptual or policy analytical, improve the structures and language precisions would further enhance clarity overall. This is a meaningful and forward-looking paper with strong analytical framing. It can contribute effectively to the Indian's education's policy discourse. At the end, thanks again Team Vedant to organizing the wonderful conference on Viksit Bharat at 2047. Thank you.
Good morning, distinguished guests from the conference of Gurukul to Global, Paving Path to Viksit Bharat at 2047, Restructuring Higher Education with Indic Priorities. I am Nishabahen from Karnavati University, and today I will present our research paper on transformational leadership through the lens of female employees of higher education institutions. I will share insights from our research on how female employees in higher education perceive transformational leadership, a topic which is very crucial for fostering inclusive and innovative academic environments. In today's rapidly evolving educational landscape, leadership quality directly impacts employee satisfaction, innovation, and institutional success. While transformational leadership has been extensively studied, limited research examines on how female professionals who comprise a significant workforce in higher education perceive these leadership behaviors. Our study addresses this gap by investigating their perspectives across Gujarat's academic institutions. If I talk about the methodology, we have surveyed 141 female employees from 9 different higher education institutions, including faculty members, research staff, and administrators. Using validated instruments, we assessed 4 key dimensions of transformational leadership, that is, idealized influence, individual consideration, inspirational motivation, and intellectual stimulations. From this methodology and investigation, our key findings reveal 3 significant insights. The first one is female employees consistently perceive transformational leadership positively across all 4 dimensions. However, with idealized influence, that is ethical role modeling rated the highest one, this indicates that leaders are successfully establishing trust and credibility. The second and most significantly, professional experience emerged as the crucial factor shaping leadership perceptions. Unlike age, education, or position, accumulated work experience significantly influenced on how female employees recognize and appreciate leadership behaviors across all four dimensions, with the strongest effect on inspirational motivations. And the third and the final one is, while gender of the reporting officer showed marginal effects, it significantly impacted perceptions of intellectual stimulation, suggesting opportunities for enhancing innovation support for female employees. If I talk about the implications, these findings carry important practical implications. Organizations should develop experience calibrated leadership programs that recognize how professional maturity shapes leadership appreciation. Rather than one size fits all approaches, institutions need tailored interventions that account for career state differences. Additionally, enhancing intellectual stimulation and innovation support could further strengthen already positive leadership foundations. Concluding my research, I must say that our research demonstrates that leadership appreciation grows through accumulated professional experience, not fixed with the demographic traits. This provides a roadmap for gender sensitive, experience based leadership development in higher educations. Thank you so much.
Namaste. I am Dr. Sunil Kumar, session chair for this session. First, I congratulate Team Vedant to organizing the conference on Viksit Bharat 2047. I have reviewed the paper title Transformational Leadership Through the Lens of Female Employees of Higher Education Institute, presented by Nishabahen Bharatkumar Dev. This study examined the leadership effectiveness from a generation sensitive perspective using a quantitative survey of 141 female employees across 9 institutions in Gujarat. The paper analyzed 4 dimensions of transformational leadership. The findings reveal generally positive perceptions with idealized influence emerging as a strongest dimension. Professional experience is identified as the most significant factor shaping leadership perceptions, a key strength of this paper is its strong methodology, high reliability score, appropriate statistical analysis. The focus on female employee adds the originality and the practical relevance. The paper can be enhanced by synthesizing result more concisely, linkage finding to leadership policies, and exploring longitudinal or comparative perspective in future research. Overall, this is a well structured, empirically strong study. It's offer valuable guidance for leadership development in higher education institute. Thanks again, Team Vedant. Thank you.
Namaskar, my name is PallaviDeshpande, a PhD research scholar from Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University and founder of Pallavi's Management and Event Management Company. I stand before you not merely as a researcher or as a even professional, but as a seeker, a learner, and a witness to India's extraordinary journey from Gurukul to global. With deep reverence and humility, I begin by bowing to timeless Vedant knowledge systems, a legacy that has shaped consciousness, character, and civilizations from a lot of time, from many years. My title, Gurukul to Global Event Management, Opportunities and Challenges, India's Wisdom Awakening the World. India's learning once began not with exams or competitions, but with folded hands, a quiet mind, and a sacred vow, Satyam Vadam Dharmam Chara, that is, speak the truth and live with purpose. Under the banyan tree, beside the rivers, and in serene forests, students learn not only skills but life. Yet the essence remains same, unchanged. Knowledge is sacred, learning is lifelong. Wisdom must serve humanity and from traditions to transformation. In this inspired era, events are no longer gatherings, they are gateways. Gateways where culture becomes conversations, tradition becomes transformation, and audience becomes communities. As an event manager, educator, planner, and visionary, we hold a responsibility to organize and to awaken. When an event carries the heartbeat of Gurukul values, learning becomes holistic, participation becomes immersive, and leadership becomes ethical. Imagine a summit where silence teaches leadership, yoga becomes clarity, art becomes identity, and India becomes the world's guiding philosophy, not from the past but from the future. The journey from Gurukul to global symbolizes India's remarkable evolution from ancient knowledge system to modern international learning ecosystem. In this transforming era, educational, cultural, and experiential events have emerged as a dynamic platform to revive, reinterpret, and reintroduce India's timeless wisdom to the world. From the lens of an event manager, this transition presents a profound opportunity to design events that do not inform but inspire, and they gather the audience and build communities. They do not showcase tradition but transform global thinking. The opportunities in curating such events are extraordinary. Events grounded in Gurukul values encourage holistic learning, mindfulness, ethics, and immersive participation of the community engagement. Event planners can innovate by integrating experiential workshops, yoga and wellness sessions, heritage art form, value-based leadership programs, and global knowledge exchange. These formats allow Indian institutions to strengthen cultural diplomacy, foster international collaboration, and position India as a global contributor to sustainable learning and human-centered education models. Yet this path also brings meaningful challenges. Event manager must protect cultural authenticity while ensuring global accessibility. Balancing traditional content with digital platforms, hybrid formats, and technology enabled engagements requires strategic planning. Factors such as budget management, logistics, stakeholder coordination, ancient philosophy into modern relevance calls for sensitive storytelling and cultural respect. Ultimately, the success of such events lies in event managers' ability to turn challenges into pathways for innovation. When designed with sensitivity and vision, Gurukul to global events become bridges connecting heritage with innovation, community with technology, and India with the world. They empower learners, honor the past, and enrich the present, and shape a confident, culturally rooted, globally aware future. Gurukul to Global is not a theme, not a project, not a trend. It is a movement, a renaissance, a quite powerful awakening. It reminds India does not offer the world just education but evolution, not just innovation but intention, and not just knowledge but consciousness. Before I conclude, I express the heartfelt gratitude to the organizers, to Veda Knowledge System for creating this meaningful platform, to all the mentors, teachers who shaped our understanding, and to every seeker who is present here for being a part of reassurance. Let us walk forward rooted with the earth, yet expansive like the sky. because India's wisdom is not a memory, it is a gift to the world. Jai Hind and Jai Bharat.
Namaste. I am Dr. Sunil Kumar, session chair for this session, and thanks Team Vedant to organizing the conference on Viksit Bharat 2047. I have reviewed the paper title Gurukul to Global Event Management Opportunity and Challenge India Wisdom Awakening the World, presented by PallaviDeshpande. This paper explores how India traditional knowledge system can be translated into the global educational and cultural event. From the manager's perspective, it positions events as a platform for experimental learning, cultural diplomacy, and global engagement. The paper highlight opportunity in value-driven event design while also addressing challenge of authenticity, technology integrations, and sustainability. A key strength of this paper is its conceptual clarity and creative narrative. It successfully reframed event management as a transformative cultural and educational tool. The paper can be strengthened by clearly analytical structuring, illustrative case examples, and a brief methodological clarifications. Minor language refinement would further improve the academic presentations overall. At the end, this is a insightful and impactful contributions with added analytical depth. It can enrich the discussion on event study and cultural educations. Again, thanks Team Vedant to organizing the workshop on Viksit Bharat at 2047.
Hello everyone, myself Sarvesh Deepak, research scholar from GS College of Commerce and Economics, Nagpur. I am here to present my research paper with the title Impact of Bharatiya Ethics on Sustainable Entrepreneurship in the fourth multidisciplinary international conference from Gurukul to Global Paving Path to Viksit Bharat 2047, restructuring higher education with Indic priorities. Now, without wasting any much more time, we are moving towards the objectives of our research paper. Before that, we should discuss certain research problems and research questions. Stick with the title of the today's research paper topic. The first research problem. In today's era of globalization, entrepreneurship is purely revolving around the highlighted motive of profit and wealth maximization. Social aspect of entrepreneurship with respect to economy, ecology, ethics is missing, which is very important for sustainable growth of business and societal integrity. A sustainable business model should be blended version of Bharatiya business ethics as well as the international aspect of business standard. Research questions. How can Bharatiya business ethics shape sustainable entrepreneurship model? Second sub question is how do ancient Indian ethical principle relate to model entrepreneur sustainable model? Second sub question is how will Bharatiya ethical theories shape the Indian sustainable business model? Now we are moving towards the objectives of our study. First objective is to study the Bharatiya business ethics, principles and theory, to relate the Bharatiya business ethics with respect to aspect of entrepreneurship, to study the existing sustainable entrepreneurship model, and last, to suggest a sustainable entrepreneurship model. We have already reviewed the various literatures based on the Indian ethos system as well as Bharatiya business ethics. We have also studied a various principle-based Bharatiya decision-making models, which has also relevance in today's business environment. First is Dharma-based decision-making model. Second one is Gandhian trusteeship model. Third one is Karma Yoga model. Fourth one is Bharatiya comprehensive ethical model. Now, the existing sustainable model of entrepreneurships are triple bottom line approach model, which includes people, planet, profit. ESG model includes environment, social, government, governance, etc. Circular model is all about the recycling and reintroduction to the economy. We have used secondary data method for this research, and we also map the various ethical Bharatiya ethical principle with the sustainability outcome. In this research, we have also suggested the 3E pyramid model of sustainability, which includes economical, ecological, and ethical components, which is a blended version of the sustainable entrepreneurship model. We have finded out that Indian business ethics plays a strong role in shaping a sustainable business models, but some of the business ethics are not as effective as in today's business era. We have here concluding our study with that Bharatiya business ethics has a strong value-based integration which can give a good shape to any business organization for sustainable business practices. Also, Bharatiya business ethics has various relevant points which can be a important and game changer for the sustainable entrepreneurship model with respect to survival in this global competitive challenge. Thank you so much.
Namaste. I am Dr. Sunil Kumar, session chair for this session. I have reviewed the paper title Impact of Bharatiya Business Ethics on Sustainable Entrepreneurship by Mr. Saurabh D. Muley. This paper addresses a highly relevant theme aligned with the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. The study explores how core Bharatiya ethical principle can guide sustainable entrepreneurship using secondary data and conceptual analysis. The paper integrate Indian philosophy with modern sustainability framework such as ESG, triple bottom line, and circular economy. A key strength of this paper is its strong philosophical grounding and meaningful linkage between Indian ethos and contemporary business sustainability. The conceptual model proposed are original and thoughtful developed, and Indian business example add strong contextual relevance. The paper can be further strengthened by synthesizing the literature review more critically, clarify the methodological positioning, and support the proposed model with empirical and case based validations. Overall, this is a conceptually rich and relevant study with minor refinement. It can make a valuable contributions to ethical entrepreneurship literature. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Respected dignitaries, esteemed colleagues, and fellow educators, I am Tanu Marwah, Assistant Professor at Hindustan College of Science and Technology, Mathura, and it's honor to present at this prestigious conference from Gurukul to Global, Paving Path to Viksit Bharat at 2047, Restructuring Higher Education with Indic Priorities. Today, I'll present my key insights from our pilot study exploring management student initial perception of metaverse technology among 100 MBA students in India, Agra Mathura region, a growing Tier 2 educational hub. This research examines how MBA students first perceive metaverse for management education and amid challenges like limited infrastructure, digital literacy in Tier 2 cities. The metaverse promises immersive virtual boardroom, market simulation, and global networking via avatars, transforming traditional learning. Drawing from literature, it addresses opportunities like experiential learning and barriers such as high VR cost and privacy concern. We used a quantitative cross-sectional design with purposive sampling 100 MBA students via 5-point Likert scale questionnaire on knowledge, experience, belief, concern, and behavioral intentions. Hypothesis tested linked to knowledge, to usefulness, and concern to adoption. Analysis involved descriptive stats, Pearson correlation, and regression predicting intentions. The key findings are median response show positive outlook mostly for with high digital proficiency but variable metaverse exposure. Correlation were strong, belief to intention R is equals to 0.699 and regression explained 61.1% variance. Beliefs 0.425 and experience 0.251 as the top predictors. Knowledge and concerns non-significant. Surprisingly, concern positive correlated with intention R is equals to 0.617 suggesting informed interest. Tier 2 colleges should prioritize belief building through business case demos, hands-on digital lab and industry partnership for gradual metaverse integration. The student-centric approach bridge digital divide enhancing management, education, inquiry. Thank you everyone for listening to us. Thank you.
Namaste. I am Seema Premnath Dhande, Assistant Professor in Dr. Munji Institute of Management and Computer Studies, Nashik. Serving as a session chair for this track of this Viksit Bharat at 2047 conferences under the guidance of Dr. Arjun Dave. As we move towards the centenary of India's independence in 2047, our academic and policy discourse must remain deeply rooted in our itihas, our civilizational memory, ancient literature, and modern historical writings, which together give us clear margadarshan for building a truly developed, value-based, and self-reliant Bharat. Today, I am going to review 6 papers for this track. The first one is Exploring Management Students' Initial Perceptions of Metaverse Technologies by Ms. Tanu Marwah and co-authors. First of all, I want to congratulate Ms. Deepa ji. The architecture of your paper is exceptionally well crafted with a clear flow from context and literature to methodology, findings, and policy implications. This pilot study surveys 100 MBA students from Agra, Mathura on metaverse adoption. Key findings is beliefs that benefits and digital experience explain 61% of adoption intent and not knowledge or privacy concerns. Regionally relevant for Tier 2 colleges, robust regression analysis and practical framework linking metaverse to virtual boardrooms, echoing our ancient Gurukul experiential learning. What stand out is the forward-thinking vision up to 2047, where the author does not stop at analysis but clearly points towards the India we want to build by the centenary of independence, perfect for Viksit Bharat's skilling goals by 2047. My brief suggestions are linked to Arthashastra's practical training for metaverse simulation and 2047 roadmap and tied to NEP 2020 Skill India schemes. Excellent contribution, Ms. Tanu Marwah. Let our itihas guide technology for Viksit Bharat at 2047. Second paper from the track, decoding buyer intent, RERA, trust and elaboration likelihood in India's residential real estate by LEENA, SANDEEPSINH, CHUDASAMA and co-authors. This study examines how RERA's transparency, accountability and timely delivery build home buyer trust via elaboration, likelihood, model, central route for detailed scrutiny, peripheral for RERA badges, timely for housing lead Viksit Bharat at 2047, strong theoretical integration, ELM plus trust theory, and practical insights for regulated real estate echoing Arthashastra's emphasis on transparent contract and buyer protection. My suggestion for this paper is link RERA to 2047 housing roadmap under PMAY 2.0 for policy impact. Excellent work, LEENA ji. Let Itihas guide modern regulation for Viksit Bharat. My third paper for review is skill development, employability and economic growth. Vocational learning inspired by Indic traditions. A blueprint for Atmanirbhar Bharat by 2047 by Dr. SATHI JYOTHIRMAYE Reddy. Survey of 300 stakeholders shows strong acceptance of blending Gurukul experiential learning plus Shreni guides with modern vocational training. Robust stats links NEP 2020 or Skill India to 2047 goals. Strengths for this paper is directly revives our Itihas, ancient apprenticeship wisdom for Atmanirbhar skilling, perfect Viksit Bharat alignment. Suggestion for this paper is at 2047 implementation roadmap with industry apprenticeships and under Skill India. My fourth paper for review is influencer marketing and social media advertising, an empirical study of consumer behavior and engagement by Ms. Deepa Prajapati and Ms. Swathi Anavatti. Survey of 127 consumers shows 67% buying influenced by social media, 60% click trusted influence ad, Instagram dominates 81%, videos are having greater impact than poster for engagements. Introduces IMCET framework blending credibility plus social media richness. Strengths for this paper is practical for Viksit Bharat's digital economy, echoing ancient Kautilya's market intelligence via modern influencers. Suggestions: link to 2047 digital MSME strategy under ONDC for policy impact. Valuable insight, Deepa ji. Itihas meets digital commerce for Viksit Bharat. My next paper for review is From Participation to Leadership, Women Entrepreneurship in the Journey to Viksit Bharat at 2047 by CMA Dr. Shilpi Gupta. Comprehensive analysis. Women MSMEs grew from 1 crore to 1.92 crore, yet get only 2% venture capital funding. Covers Lakhpati Didi, state successes, Kerala's Kumbhashri, Telangana Women Entrepreneurship Hub, proposes National Women Entrepreneurship Index. Strengths for this paper: strategic 2047 blueprint, echoing Arthashastra's women in trade for inclusive Viksit Bharat growth. Suggestion: add 2047 targets for women lead GDP contribution under Startup India. Powerhouse paper, Dr. Gupta, Nari Shakti drives Viksit Bharat. My last paper for review is cost-effective optimization strategies for yarn sizing, enhancing efficiency and reducing cost by Ansari, Mohammad, Rehan and team. Malegaon Textile Survey reveals 60% use synthetic sizing, 50% face yarn breakage, recommends AI analytics, foam sizing, biodegradable agents for cost savings and sustainability. Practical for Make in India's textiles, echoing precision craftsmanship for Viksit Bharat manufacturing. Link to 2047 PLI scheme targets for textile automation. It will give a exact impact for your paper. Industry relevant work, Rehan ji. Itihas crafts modern industry. In conclusion, in session chair, I appreciate the sincere effort put in by all the authors. As we collectively walk towards the vision of Viksit Bharat at 2047, it is essential that we do not see 2047 as only a numeric target year or a purely economic milestone. Our journey must be anchored in our itihas, from the Vedic period and classical Sanskrit literature to regional text, reform movements, and the freedom struggle, because these sources provide enduring values, models of governance, social harmony, enterprise, and education. If we consciously read, interpret, and integrate this rich corpus of ancient as well as modern Indian literature into our policies, curricula, technologies, and business practices, we will not be walking on a borrowed path. We will be traveling on our own civilizational route towards a developed, just, and spiritually grounded Bharat by 2047. I congratulate the authors for contributing to this collective national journey. Special thanks to Dr. Arjun Dave for his visionary leadership in organizing this conference and giving me an opportunity for reviewing interesting papers, and I wish everyone the very best for their future endeavors. Dhanyavad.
I am LEENA CHUDASAMA. I am pleased to present my paper in the fourth International Virtual Multidisciplinary Conference entitled From Gurukul to Global, Paving Path to Viksit Bharat at 2047, Restructuring Higher Education with Indic Priorities, organized by Vedant Knowledge Systems Private Limited. It is my pleasure to thank Dr. Arjun Dave for organizing such a wonderful conference. The title of my paper is Decoding Buyer Intent, RERA, Trust and Elaboration Likelihood in India's Residential Real Estate. My co-authors are Professor Salim Samsher, Senior Dean and Professor, United World Institute of Management, Kannamati University, Gandhinagar, and Dr. Vatsal Patel, Technical Officer, Gujrera. India's Real Estate Regulation and Development Act 2016 RERA addressed chronic issues of project delays, opaque disclosures, fund diversion, and weak buyer protection in housing. While price, location, and developer reputation remain key regulatory safeguards, and institutional trust now critically shape high value purchase decisions. This paper examines how five RERA elements, that is, transparency, accountability, financial legal security, quality assurance, and timely delivery, influence home buyers' purchase intentions in regulated projects. Drawing on the elaboration likelihood model, that is ELM, and trust theory, RERA provisions are abstracted as risk mitigating indications nurturing institutional and interpersonal trust via central and peripheral routes. Highly involved buyers use RERA's escrow statements, sanction plans, and defect liability clauses for central route evaluations of developer reliability. Less involved buyers rely on peripheral signals like RERA registered status and clean dispute records. A conceptual SEM model and five hypotheses link these constructs to trust and purchase intentions, with trust mediating RERA's effects consistent with high market research. The integration of ELM and trust theory provides behavioral insights into how buyers process institutional information via central and peripheral routes. This study contributes to real estate regulation and marketing literature by empirically validating the psychological mechanisms linking policy reforms to consumer behavior. It further offers practical implications for policymakers and developers seeking to strengthen buyer confidence in emerging markets. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. S. JYOTHIRMAYE Reddy, Associate Professor from Marwah University. My paper explores how Indic occasional learning traditions can be blended with modern skill education to support Atmanirbhar Bharat by 2047. India's vocational education focuses heavily on technology and industry needs. However, our traditional systems like the Gurukul and Shayan Guild model emphasizing learning by doing mentorship, discipline, and community learning. Existing research discusses these traditions conceptually, but empirical models is integrating them with modern vocational education are limited. This study aims at identifying the Indic principles relevant to vocational training, assess stakeholders' perceptions and acceptance, and propose a practical blueprint integrating traditional wisdom with modern vocational systems. The research methodology that I have used is a mixed method approach, and primary data was collected from 300 respondents, which includes students, educators, and industry professionals, using a structured 5-point Likert scale questionnaire. The findings show positive perception and acceptance of Indic inspired vocational learning across all stakeholder groups. The relevance of all subscales was high, indicating consistency. However, perception and acceptance alone did not strongly predict employability or entrepreneurship outcomes, highlighting the need for stronger implementation mechanisms. The study suggests that while cultural acceptance is strong, real impact depends on hands-on training, industry linkage, apprenticeships, and outcome-based evaluation. Indic traditions can meaningfully strengthen modern vocational education when practically integrated and executed. In conclusion, this research proposes an Indic-inspired vocational blueprint that is culturally rooted, industry relevant, and aligned with India's version of Atmanirbhar Bharat by 2047. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone, and warm greetings to you all. My name is Swati Anavatti, and my co-author is Ms. Deepa Prajapati from St. Francis Institute of Management and Research. We are presenting a research paper in the conference From Gurukul to Global, Paving Path to Viksit Bharat 2047, Restructuring Higher Education with Indic Priorities, organized by Vedant Knowledge Systems. The topic of our research is Influencer Marketing and Social Media Advertising, an empirical study of consumer behavior and engagement. Social media is just not a communication tool. It is a powerful marketing platform. Users spend 1 to 2 hours daily consuming content and making purchase decisions. Influencer marketing leverages trusted individuals to promote brands, making it a critical strategy for businesses today. This study is based on influencer-mediated consumer engagement theory, IMCET, which explains how influencer marketing affects consumer behavior on social media. The framework integrates 4 key theories. Source credibility theory suggests that influencers who are perceived as trustworthy and knowledgeable create higher consumer confidence. Social proof theory explains how likes, shares, comments, and followers count influence consumers by validating the influence recommendations. Media richness theory highlights the richer content formats such as videos are more effective in delivering the message and generating emotional engagement compared to static posters, where influencer and stimulus organism response, where influencer characteristics and content format act as a stimuli, consumer trust and engagement represent the organism, and outcomes such as website visits and purchase intentions from the response. Overall, IMCET explains that influencer marketing influences consumer directly by building trust and engagement, which then leads to behavioral actions. The objective of the study is to study whether influencers attract consumers to websites or social media, to compare effectiveness of videos versus posters, to study consumer behavior on social media platform, to assess pros and cons of social media effects on consumer behavior. The study is focused on understanding the influence of social media and influencers, comparing and ad formats, and examining how consumers behave online. We collected the primary data through surveys and analyzed secondary data sources like journals and books. The samples included employees, students, and business owners to represent diverse perspective. Our findings show that Instagram, as the dominant platform mostly used by young adults aged 18 to 35, spending 1 to 2 hours daily. Users primarily use social media for entertainment, working, and learning. Influencers significantly impact users' behavior. Nearly 60% of the respondents click ads featuring trusted influencers, while around 45% are likely to purchase these products. Micro and mid-tier influencers are the most followed, showing high credibility. Video ads outperform posters in engagement, with 67.6% preferring videos. Most users prefer ads on their main feed, and videos should be short, ideally 15 to 30 seconds maximum, and posters succeed when the content and the creativity actually stands out. The statistical analysis confirmed that users influenced by social media trends are more likely to click on influencer ad, highlighting the effectiveness of influencer marketing. In conclusion, influencer marketing strongly affects the consumer behavior, especially through video content on Instagram. Micro and mid-tier influencers generate high engagement, and social media significantly impacts the users' purchasing decisions. I end my presentation here. Thank you very much.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I am obliged to present my research paper in the fourth International Virtual Multidisciplinary Conference on From Gurukul to Global, Paving Path to Viksit Bharat 2047, Restructuring Higher Education with Indic Priorities. The title of my paper is From Participation to Leadership, Women Entrepreneurs in the Journey to Viksit Bharat 2047. I request to share my PPT. Let us start with the introduction. India's vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 envisions a fully developed nation by 2047. The great foresight of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. And according to him, women entrepreneurs position as the pivotal directors transitioning from grassroots participation to transformative leadership roles as per Niti Aayog 2021. Government initiatives, including the various Startup India, have been instrumental in fostering entrepreneurship through credit support, incubation, and market linkages. The various schemes introduced by the government for women entrepreneurs are Mudra Loan, Stri Shakti, Dena Shakti, Bharatiya Mahila Bank, Udyogini Scheme, Mahila Udyam, Sindh Mahila, Orient Mahila, Pradhan Mantri Rojgar Yojana, Sant Kalyani Scheme. Objectives of this research paper will try to examine the initiatives and their cumulative policy impact in shaping the journey of the women entrepreneurs towards Indian developmental aspirations of 2047. This paper will analyze success stories from initiatives like Maharashtra FinTech Corpus Fund, Rajasthan's INR 100 crore women dedicated allocation, which provides subsidies, mentorships, and market linkages. This paper will also try to know the factors catalyzing women entrepreneurship, the Vision 2047 policy agenda. A multi-factor evolution of women entrepreneur impact will be studied. The successful state program that scaled women-led startups will be analyzed, and the barriers faced by rural women entrepreneurs and their solutions will be pointed towards. Last but not the least, the final objective is designing an effective mentorship and funding model for the women founders. Now, what is the need of the study? Now, Indian women are scaling heights now, and they are very good entrepreneurs, very skilled in multitasking and all. So, we need to tap their untapped potential that can bridge the economic opportunities. We have already seen that women-led enterprises are minimizing the GDP, are minimizing the gap in the GDP contributions. Now, to accelerate the participation of women in 2047, India requires a comprehensive gender responsive policy framework. My study will even address to that and the structural barriers. Now, ensuring universal digital access and establishing a national digital women entrepreneurship platform is one of utmost importance for the business growth, innovation, and compliance. Evidence based policy making through a national women entrepreneurship index and periodic impact assessments will ensure accountability, inclusiveness, steady progress towards the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. Now, we will know the entrepreneur the impact. The impact of women entrepreneurs can be assessed through a multidimensional model: economic, financial, social, and policy indicators. It examines the financial inclusion outcomes, capturing access to formal credit, repayment behavior, and integration with digital finance ecosystems. To understand the broader developmental outcomes, the framework includes social empowerment indicators, enhanced decision making power, community leadership in the case of the rural women like Didis and SSGs. A policy responsiveness indicator assess how effectively government schemes reach women entrepreneurs and translate support into measurable performance or the business performance. The framework accounts for the regional and demographic inclusions in ensuring that women entrepreneurial areas, ST, SC, minority, aspirational districts, and even the women from uplifted community who have got ideas can bring it to light. Now, what were the successful state programs that scaled women-led startups? The first was the Kerala's Kudumbashri Mission, one of the world's largest women-led community networks. 4 million women were attached to it in the field of food processing, handicraft, structured training was given, microcredit was given, and they linked it with the market linkage ecosystems that had become a national benchmark. Tamil Nadu's Mahalir Titram and Tamil Nadu Startup and Innovation Mission have strengthened women's participation in startups through dedicated seed funding, skill development, and the We Elevate means we hold hands with the women to make them elevate along with the society. Andhra Pradesh SCRP initiative transformed rural self-help groups into formal enterprises by providing interest-free loans or loans at a very less interest rate, literacy and linkage with e-commerce platforms. Maharashtra's MAVIM and Udyogini scheme have expanded the caliber of the woman by access to credit, cluster development, and marketing support across rural and urban regions. Rajasthan's two IBAG and iStart Women program have empowered digital literacy among the women. Startup friendly incentives were given to them, and incubation centers were built specifically for women, and co working spaces and the fast track funding. Telangana's We Hub, India's first state run platform for the women entrepreneurs, has become a national model by nurturing tech driven model women led startups, facilitating global partnerships. These state programs demonstrate that targeted funding, incubation support, enhancement, and market integration can successfully scale the women led enterprises and contribute substantially to India's economic transformation till 2047. So, what were the barriers? Another objective was the barriers faced by the rural women. The first was a socio-cultural, infrastructural, institutional that constrained their entrepreneurial potential. Next is the limited access to the formal credit, lack of collateral, low financial literacy, often restrict their ability to expand enterprises beyond subsistence level. Poor digital connectivity in the rural areas, inadequate transport networks, unreliable electricity, and limited access to modern technologies further weaken. Rural women frequently struggle with low exposure to markets, limited access to the supply chains, weak bargaining power, and lack of awareness regarding the regulatory procedures, registration process, and government schemes. Skill gaps, particularly in digital tools, product design, branding, marketing, also limit their innovative skills. Addressing the barriers, society, the men, government, all are addressing the barriers through multidimensional context and sensitive approach. First of all, they have improved access to the finance in collateral-free credit, SSG bank linkage, strengthening microinsurance, and digital credit scoring. They have established rural incubation centers, common facility hubs, and local entrepreneurship training programs, enabling capacity building. Social empowerment initiatives such as community sensitization programs, male allyship campaigns, and child care support are being provided as an extra support for promoting the women. Stronger institutional support through one-stop facilitation centers, simplified regulatory processes, and proactive outreach are some of the steps that will lead women to reach the heights. Now, the main motive of the paper was how to design an effective mentorship and funding model for women founders. Now, designing effective mentorship and the funding requires a holistic gender-sensitive society which enhances the entrepreneurial capabilities, expands the access to the capital, and improves ecosystem linkage. So, peer linking cohorts in the village as well as in the urban areas, mentorship formats, mentorship programs in a month, in 2 months, impactful for women balancing domestic responsibilities as it were flexible learning environments, mentorship complemented by the funding models that mitigate the gender biasness, blended finance structures like combining grants, soft loans, equity, credit guarantees, help reduce the lender's risk. A continuous monitoring system powered by the gender disaggregated data and impact indicators is essential for refining these interventions and ensuring measurable gains in business performance. At the last and concluding, women entrepreneurs are central to India's transformation for Viksit Bharat 2047, contributing to the economic expansion and social equity, innovation, and sustainable development. Persistent challenges such as limited access to venture capital, gender biasness in financial markets, infrastructural gaps, and socio-cultural constraints hinder their path. So they always belong to the underserved regions. The proposed multidimensional evolution framework underscores that the impact of women entrepreneurs must be measured across economic, financial, technological, social, and policy domains to capture their comprehensive contribution. If India succeeds in nurturing an environment where women entrepreneurs transition from participation to leadership, the nation stands to unlock unprecedented economic and social dividends, boosting GDP, strengthening rural economies, expanding innovation capacity, and positioning women as architects of Indian global competitiveness. So, to end the presentation, I would just say let's join hands together for uplifting our women through various initiatives, and let's make each other aware of how women can actually uh, bring a change to the economy. Thank you.
Greetings to everyone present here. I am Sadia Mansoori from Medicaps University, Indore. Today I am presenting our paper titled The Psychological Impact of FOMO on Cryptocurrency Investment Decisions, a Behavioral Finance Perspective. This work is co-authored by Ms. Tanisha Agrawal and Dr. Sneha Raghuwanshi. In the recent years, cryptocurrency has become extremely popular among the retail investors, especially the youth. The crypto market is fast moving, volatile, and heavily influenced by social media and hype. Because of this environment, many investors experience FOMO, the fear of missing out, which often push them to invest quickly without proper analysis. However, there is very limited research on how FOMO affects investors in tier 2 cities like Indore, and that is where our study comes in. Our purpose was simple to understand how FOMO impacts cryptocurrency investment decisions and how it interacts with factors like social media influence, financial literacy, market volatility. The objectives of the study were to examine the impact of fear of missing out on cryptocurrency investment decisions, to analyze the influence of key behavioral factors like social media exposure, market volatility, financial literacy, assess the extent of impulsive investment behaviors among retail investors. The study context was Indore, India, and theoretical lens used was behavioral finance framework. Our conceptual model shows how behavioral and financial factors influence asset ownership. FOMO and risk tolerance directly increases the asset ownership. Financial literacy affects asset ownership both directly and by reducing the FOMO. FOMO also raises risk tolerance, leading to riskier investment behavior. Overall, emotional and knowledge based factors together drive the investment decisions. Moving forward, we conducted a descriptive and analytical study. We collected data from 150 to 500 retail investors using a structured questionnaire. Sampling was convenience based, and the data was analyzed using SPSS, including tools like descriptive statistics, correlation analysis, multiple regression, ANOVA, and chi-square test. Our finding shows three major results. FOMO strongly increases the impulsive investment behavior. Social media and market volatility significantly raises FOMO levels. And financial literacy helps reduce the emotional and risky decisions. We also found that younger investors are more affected by FOMO. To conclude, FOMO plays a major psychological role in crypto investing. It often overrides rational thought and pushes investors towards risk decisions. FOMO is a powerful psychological driver. Its implications for investors were that they need to be more emotionally aware and they should be financially literate before investing. The fintech platforms should introduce decision support and cool off tools. The policymakers should develop investors' protection and education mechanism. The contribution towards the society is that it bridges behavioral finance and digital investment behavior in an emerging Indian context. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. ARCHANA J R, Assistant Professor at MBA Department of RNSIT, Bengaluru. Today, I would like to thank Team Vedant and Dr. Arjun Dhave for providing me an opportunity to be a sessions chair for the Viksit Bharat conference. Today, I would be reviewing one of the research papers titled The Psychological Impact of FOMO, FOMO, on Cryptocurrency Investment Decisions, a Behavioral Finance Perspective by Sadia Mansoori and Dr. Sneha Raghuwanshi and Tanisha Agarwal. So it's a very interesting paper, I would say, as the strength of the paper is that it is a relevant concept as well as a timely topic that needs discussion. Why? Because cryptocurrency investment is a growing phenomena, and linking it to behavioral finance and fear of missing out makes this study highly relevant to both academia and a concept for practice as well. Clear theoretical framing. As the research suits FOMO within the behavioral finance literature, and it is also connecting psychological biases with financial decision making. This strengthens its conceptual foundation. I see the paper has used a structured questionnaire with a large sample size of 500 respondents. This indicates the robust methodology used by the researchers, and multiple statistical techniques have been used. For instance, correlation, regression, ANOVA, chi-square, all this have been used in the study to add credibility to this research. This paper also portrays empirical evidence of FOMO's impact. The findings of this strategically significant positive relationship between FOMO and impulsive investment tendencies provides us with a strong support for the hypothesis and contributes to behavioral finance literature as well. This particular research and the contributions of research can be also used for practical implications and can be used for awareness of investors, used in systems where decision making is done, and also referred by policymakers as well. By focus on retail investors in Indore, the paper is adding a more localized insight for a global debate and enriching the literature with region-specific behavioral patterns. This is talking to us about the contribution to the Indian context. Some points from my end that could be added to make this paper even more impactful would be to not limit it to just a geographic limitation, but strengthen it by expanding it to multiple cities or regions as well. While FOMO has been addressed in this paper, other behavioral biases like herding, overconfidence, or loss aversion can also be integrated to provide a more holistic view. This paper talks to us about social media influence and the exposure of content on specific platforms, and this playing a role in amplifying FOMO. The paper highlights financial literacy, but maybe a lot of elaboration has not been done on how to measure it or in moderating the effect on FOMO that drives our decisions. While recommendations are strong, connecting them to existing Indian financial literacy programs or SEBI initiatives could further strengthen the paper. Being said, this paper is providing a valuable empirical addition to behavioral research, highlighting the psychological drivers of cryptocurrency investment decisions in India. The paper's strength lies in quantitative rigor and practical recommendations that would benefit from broader sampling, deeper psychological integration, and stronger policy connections. I would like to congratulate the researchers on doing a good job and looking forward to many more such impactful papers. Thank you.
Greetings, distinguished scholars, respected colleagues, and esteemed guests. I am Dr. Vrushal Khade, Management Faculty from Jain University. It is my privilege to present my work for the conference titled From Gurukul to Global, Paving Path to Viksit Bharat 2047, Restructuring Higher Education with Indic Priorities. My research paper is titled Bharatiya Sustainability Education Model, Integrating Dharma, Ecological Ethics, and Global Sustainable Development Goals to Transform Higher Education for Viksit Bharat 2047. India today stands at a pivotal moment as we march towards the national vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. We recognize that sustainability is not merely a technical or policy issue. It is fundamentally a civilizational responsibility. While global frameworks like the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals provide a valuable roadmap, they often do not trigger deep, long behavioral change when implemented without socio-cultural grounding. In contrast, India has an extraordinary legacy of ecological wisdom rooted in dharma, ahimsa, aparigraha, the Panchama Bhuta, Lokasangraha, and the harmonious relationship between Prakriti and Purusha. These ideas embedded in a philosophical text locate sustainability not as an external obligation, but as a moral duty and a way of life. It is this unique intersection that inspired the development of the Bharatiya Sustainability Education Model, BSCM 2.0. Now, what is BSCM 2.0? It's a holistic 7-pillar education framework that integrates India ecological philosophy, dharma-based ethics, modern sustainability science, behavioral transformation, and alignment with the Global Sustainable Development Goals and National Education Policy 2020. The model is developed using the IMRAD hybrid conceptual methodology, synthesizing ancient textual analysis, contemporary literature, national policy frameworks, and case illustrations from Indian higher education. Now, why is this model needed? Because traditional sustainability education has often remained technocratic, fragmented, disconnected from cultural consciousness. India needs a transformative educational approach that nurtures ecological intelligence, ethical sensitivity, responsible citizenship, and scientific competency. BSCM 2.0 addresses this by embedding sustainability within value systems, lived practices, and cultural identity, making it more relatable, acceptable, and actionable for learners. Now, what are the key contributions of BSCM 2.0? Curricular redesign. It integrates dharma ethics, environmental humanities, SDG-linked modules, and Bharatiya knowledge systems into mainstream programs. Pedagogical innovation. Moving beyond lectures to project-based learning, seva-based experiential models, community immersion, and reflective practice. Faculty development pathways. Building sustainability competencies grounded in both global frameworks and Indian civilizational insights. Institutional action strategies, creating green campuses, local sustainability labs, and community partnerships aligned with Viksit Bharat goals. Through these interventions, BSCM 2.0 positions Indian higher education institutions not just as consumers of global sustainability discourse, but as contributors offering a distinctive civilizational paradigm for global economic futures. To conclude, the Bharatiya Sustainability Education Model is not a return to the past. It is a civilizational reimagining for the future. It offers a culturally resonant, academically robust, and globally relevant framework to prepare students for a rapidly changing ecological and socio-economic world. As India moves towards 2047, models like BSCM 2.0 can play a pivotal role in shaping a generation that is scientifically skilled, ethically grounded, ecologically conscious, and nationally committed. Thank you for your attention. I look forward to your insights and discussions.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. ARCHANA J R, Assistant Professor at MBA Department of RNSIT, Bangalore. I thank Team Vedant and Viksit Bharat 2047 for giving me an opportunity to be the session chair, and special thank you to Dr. Arun Dhave for giving an opportunity to be a session chair in this conference. Today, I would like to review the paper submitted by Dr. Vrushal Khade. And the title of this paper is A Bharatiya Sustainability Education Model, Integrating Dharma, Ecological Ethics, and Global SDGs to Transform Higher Education for Viksit Bharat at 2047. This is an interesting title, and I see this paper comes with some merits and strengths. This particular paper draws on Indic traditions like Dharma and Ahimsa and it is talking to us about civilizational anchoring of sustainability. This is done to frame sustainability as a moral and cultural obligation and not just as a technical excuse. So this paper gives us a deep legitimacy in the Indian context. To talk about global SDGs and integration with them, the Bharatiya principles aligns with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and the paper bridges local heritage with global frameworks, positioning India as a contributor to global ecological futures. So the structure model provided in this paper is clear and has given pedagogical utility as well in the form of 7 pillars BSCM 2.0 framework that is offering a roadmap for curriculum reform, faculty development, and also institutional action. Going through this paper, policy alignment with NEP 2020 has also been exhibited here. This focuses on behavioral transformation. The paper is emphasizing on long-term behavioral change, ecological intelligence, and ethical sensitivity among learners. I see the academic rigor and methodology followed in this paper as well. So I would like to say that this paper has been done with a lot of diligence. Some areas to work on would be about the empirical case studies. The framework is conceptually strong, but it would further benefit from detailed case analysis of Indian HEIs piloting or adopting BSEMs 2.0. The argument could be more enriched by comparing BSEM 2.0 with other civilizational sustainability models like Confucian ecological ethics. This is for a comparative perspective. And the paper claims India as knowledgeable leader. Going forward, when talking about global positioning, it could further provide clear strategies for international collaboration as well as a dissemination of BSEM 2.0. I see that the paper has made a valuable and original contribution by proposing a culturally resonant sustainability education model that is integrating Indic ethics with global SDGs. This is relevant for higher education reform under the NEP 2020 scheme and also aligns with the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. The conceptual strength of this paper is high, but it would further benefit from empirical grounding, comparative analysis, and operational clarity as well. I would like to thank the researchers for providing this paper and wishing them all the very best to carry on such many more impactful research contributions to the research fraternity. Thank you.
Respected Chairperson, distinguished panel members, esteemed scholars, and dear participants, good morning. I sincerely thank Vedanta Knowledge Systems for creating this thoughtful academic platform that encourages dialogue. I also extend my appreciation to organizers and reviewers for their guidance and support. Today I am presenting my paper titled Management Ethics and Corporate Dharma, Integrating Indian Wisdom with Contemporary Organizational Leadership. In the modern corporate world, management ethics is often approached through compliance frameworks, code of conduct, governance policies, and regulatory mechanisms. While these are necessary, they are often insufficient in addressing deeper ethical dilemmas involving intent, responsibility, and long-term societal impact. This paper argues that ethics must move beyond rule following to duty-based leadership, and this is where Indian concept of dharma becomes highly relevant. Indian wisdom traditions, particularly the Veda, Upanishad, and the Bhagavad Gita, presents dharma as a guiding principle rooted in duty, righteousness, and harmony with larger societal and moral order. The Gita concept of Niskam Karma, performing one's duty without attachment to outcomes, offers a powerful parallel to modern ethical leadership, where decisions must be guided by integrity rather than short-term gains. Dharma, therefore, is not passive morality, it is active, context-sensitive responsibility. The epics Ramayana and Mahabharata further reinforces this idea. Lord Rama adherence to Raj Dharma highlights ethical governance even under personal sacrifice, while Yudhishthir's dilemma reflects the complex moral trade-offs leadership face in real-world decision-making. These narratives show that ethical leadership is rarely binary. It requires balance, judgment, and accountability, much like today's corporate environment. Methodologically, the study adopts a qualitative and interpretive approach, analyzing classical Indian text alongside modern management ethics literature. This conceptual integration is supported by case-based analysis of 4 Indian organizations: Tata Group, Infosys, Amul, and Asian Paints, each demonstrating how dharmic principles translate into practical corporate behavior. The Tata Group exemplifies dharma through trusteeship and societal responsibility, consistently prioritizing stakeholder welfare over short-term profits. Infosys demonstrates ethical transparency and governance rooted in integrity, adopting global standards voluntarily. Amul represents collective dharma by empowering farmers through equitable value distribution. Asian Paints illustrates long-term strategic dharma through ethical governance, fairness, and steady leadership during uncertainty. The discussion reveals a consistent insight. Organizations that embed dharma into leadership culture builds strong trust, resilience, and legitimacy. Corporate dharma transforms ethics from a compliance checklist into a lived organizational culture where decisions are guided by purpose, fairness, and long-term value creation. In conclusion, this paper positions corporate dharma as a strategic ethical framework, one that complements modern management ethics while addressing its limitations. By integrating ancient Indian wisdom with contemporary leadership practice, organizations can navigate complexity with moral clarity, achieve sustainable performance, and contribute meaningfully to society. Thank you once again to Vedanta Knowledge Systems Private Limited and to all respected participants for your attention. I look forward to your insights and discussions. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. ARCHANA J R, Assistant Professor in the Department of MBA of RNS Institute of Technology, Bengaluru. I would like to thank Dr. Arjun Dhave and Team Vedant for considering me as a session chair for the Viksit Bharat at 2047 conference. And I would like to start by reviewing a paper written by Mr. Manish Kumar Sinha. And the title of the paper is Management Ethics and Corporate Dharma, Integrating Indian Vision with Contemporary Organizational Leadership. This is a very interesting paper title. And I see the paper has a lot of strength with respect to integration of Indian wisdom with modern ethics. This paper is effectively bridging classical Indian texts per se, Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, with contemporary management ethics by offering a culturally grounded framework for leadership. The paper also has a strong case analysis by including corporate examples like the Tata Group, Infosys, Amul, Asian Paints, thus demonstrating practical application of dharmic principles, moving the discussion beyond theory into live corporate practice as well. This paper is defining dharma as more than a moral guideline, positioning it as an operational principle for decision-making and governance by providing conceptual clarity. The methodological rigor can be witnessed in this paper through qualitative interpretive design, combining textual analysis with case-based validation, ensuring academic depth and credibility. By addressing ethical risks, technological disruptions, and stakeholder expectations, this paper situates dharma as a stabilizing force in volatile business environments by talking about relevance to current challenges. The contribution to literature talks to us about both Western ethical frameworks and Indian management thought process by highlighting the gap and positioning dharmic ethics as a contemporary and transformative alternative. Some aspects that could be considered here is by having a global comparative perspective. While Indian cases are strong, this paper could further benefit by comparing dharmic ethnics with other civilizational frameworks as well. Operationalization of dharma can be done as dharma is a guiding principle, but could elaborate on how organizations can systematically imbibe it into the policy. Overall, I would like to say that this paper is a very good paper, and congratulations to the researchers on this. Thank you.
The study focuses on understanding the volatility behavior and predictive linkages in the global commodity markets. An in-depth study on the impact of macroeconomic variables across gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and WTI oil. Commodity markets plays a crucial role in shaping the economy of a country. Shifts or changes in the prices of gold and silver typically reflects the changes in relation to the responses to the monetary policy or the changing inflation expectations. So the importance of the study lies in its ability to reflect how the macroeconomic variables affect the volatility in the commodity market. So the macroeconomic variables like interest rate, central bank policies, unemployment, and also the macroeconomic news that are released, how these will impact the volatility in the commodity market is the focus of our study. A deeper understanding of how these macroeconomic announcements and data releases influences the commodity market will help us, the policymakers, to frame a policy that will help in the reduction of the volatility in the market. Now, the statement of the problem tells about the effective risk management is not possible because of the failure of the effective tool to assess the volatility in commodities market, especially the impact of macroeconomic variables. Many studies have focused on the volatility aspect, but very few studies have gone to an in-depth analysis of the volatility, both symmetric volatility and the asymmetric volatility. So the objectives of the study tries to analyze the impact of macroeconomic variables on commodities and their volatility. Compare the volatility of 5 selected commodities. Those are gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and oil, and examine which exhibit strong and weak responses in relation to the macroeconomic variables. To assess whether the responses of the volatility in commodities are symmetric or asymmetric across the different market phases. And the data selected for the study is for 8 years starting from January 2017 to December 2024, and the data is taken from the Bloomberg terminal. So the dependent variable for the study are the 5 commodities: gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and oil, while the independent variable for the study are the macroeconomic news that or the data that is released. And the tools for the analysis that is used is the econometric variables or the models like EGARCH model, arch effect, then Granger causality test, and quantile regression. Major findings of the study tells that WTI oil and silver showed the most promising volatility spikes especially during the period of COVID, that is 2020. Gold and palladium showed relatively stable returns with moderate clustering. Gold and silver exhibited high EGARCH effect and leverage effect, uh, explaining that negative returns increase future volatility more than the positive returns. Macroeconomic variables significantly influence the volatility of commodity price over the time. There is the presence of volatility clustering among the commodities, which indicates that period of high volatility tend to be followed by more volatility. And the gradual causal relationship between the commodity prices and macroeconomic variables indicates the predictive linkages between the two. In short, the study explains the relationship between the macroeconomic variables and the commodity market, selected commodities from the commodity market. Thank you.
Hello all. I'm Dr. ARCHANA J R, working as an assistant professor in MBA department of RNS Institute of Technology, Bengaluru. To set context, I would like to thank the organizers of Viksit Bharat 2047 conference and Team Vedantu. Thank you, Thank you, Dr. Arjun Dave, for providing this opportunity to act as a session chair for this session. I take this opportunity to review this paper by Ms. Muskaan Chauhan and Dr. Dhanya. And the paper talks to us about volatility behavior and predictive linkages in the global commodity markets, an in-depth study and the impact of macroeconomic variables across selected commodities. I would like to start by congratulating the authors of this paper for doing a very nice job. I see that the strength of this paper is it is timely and relevant. I mean to say, the focus of this paper is addressing the volatility in global commodity markets, namely gold, silver, palladium, platinum, oil. So they have done a very good job in trying to bring this aspect of volatility behavior. And the methodology here, I would like to say, is very comprehensive as they have used advanced econometric models and the rigor of the researchers can be seen through this paper. And here, I would like to say that they have given unique contribution to the research fraternity as they have done analysis of both symmetric and asymmetric volatility across multiple commodities. And the findings have direct implications for risk managers, investors, as well as policymakers. So I would like to say the paper has justified various aspects of this as well. So this paper also is aiming to connect econometric insights with actionable strategies, making it valuable for both academic discourse and industry application as well. But I would like to add some aspects from my review that there are some areas for improvement. Here, while the methodology is strong, the research rigor is strong, the paper could benefit from clearer explanations of some of the technical models like Granger causality with respect to non-specialist readers. Why? Because there would be somebody who has no prior knowledge about some of the technical aspects. Maybe you could give some explanation of these models as well. And the results published by the paper are statistically significant. But the interpretation, maybe you would have to elaborate on this interpretation. And visualization with respect to graphs, volatility clustering plots, and casualing diagrams can make the findings more accessible and impactful. And going forward, I say that the paper could suggest extensions such as machine learning models for volatility prediction or cross commodity hedging strategies. Overall, I would like to place it on record that the paper has been done with a lot of rigor, and it has made a impactful contribution to commodity market, as they have used advanced econometric modeling with combination with macroeconomic triggers. The strength of the paper is that they have had an opportunity to explore the methodological depth and practical relevance, and they have given a very good comparative perspectives and visual representation of results. I would say that this paper can be accepted, and going forward, I would like to wish the researchers all the best, and look forward to many more such papers from your end, and wishing you all the best. Thank you.